Welcome to the Fly Fishing Insider Podcast, where each week we speak with brands, icons, innovators, and trailblazers within the fly fishing industry, exploring both the successes and failures they've encountered along the way to become who they are today. But first, if you have not yet subscribed to the podcast or joined our email list, please do so by going to the flyfisherinsiderpodcast.com, or you can also find us on Instagram at flyfisherinsiderpodcast. Now let's begin. Welcome to the Fly Fishing Insider Podcast. Today our guest is Dave and Justin Lopatriello from Togens Fly Shop. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I'm excited you're here because I know we've recently, I know here in BC, you guys are a BC brand as well. And you're also our small business feature for this month. But I wanted to touch base because I know we've paired up on the Corbett Lake Stillwater giveaway. That's kind of how we came together on that project, and now here we are on the podcast. So it's really cool, and I love what you guys got going on over there. So for those that don't know, and there's probably a few of our listeners that don't know, what is Togens?
We are a online fly shop specializing in Stillwater currently. Materials, hooks, and beads is what we're really famous for, and just everything fly tying.
I love how you brought the Stillwater focus in. Everyone knows that's my weakness. So, yeah, you're more than just that, in our opinion, because the reason why is like there's a huge following amongst the Stillwater anglers, particularly here in British Columbia, in like Pacific Northwest and all in Idaho area and whatnot. So, you guys, you grew your business online, and I think where I want to go with this is, Dave, who started Togens then? And walk us through how that all transpired into becoming who you are today.
A gentleman named Bill Shervink started Togens, I guess it'd be going on 18 years ago now. Sherry and I bought a place, a trailer up at Togens, or up at Culver Lake in British Columbia. Mm-hmm. And Bill was our neighbor. And through many conversations in that, Sherry decided to change careers from insurance agent, being owner of a fly fishing shop. And then about a year and a half ago now, or 18 months ago, I believe, Justin came on board and has mainstreamed the company.
Justin, where I'm going to go with this. 18 years ago, Sherry bought Togens has been around. Justin, you came in, you sort of modernized Togens to what it is now. And I mean, what is it now? Like, walk us through what you've done, what your role is there. How you guys have found this real cool niche within fly fishing and within Stillwater.
Yeah, so like my dad mentioned there, they had this business and they were working in fly fishing. Or Sherry was having a business there, and I sat down with them one day and just started talking with them because I was recently getting into marketing and social media, that kind of stuff. And I just loved the company. I noticed that we had a small base of customers that were extremely loyal over those 18 years. And I thought, like, the product speaks for itself, basically. If customers are willing to continuously come back for years and years, it must be of quality, right? Or of something that people really enjoyed. So I thought there's got to be a way that we can get this to more people and try and come into the space and bring, quality gear, but also at a affordable price that can help the market. And really, I think what I wanted to do with the company was make it so that it's easier for new people to start. Right? Like myself, I haven't been a fly fisherman my entire life. I mean, I was really young, tying with my dad and learning. And then when I got into my teenage years, I got out of it a little bit. So getting back into it now, I realize how difficult it is. You sit down and it's like you can order a million materials and get started. So I wanted to figure out a way that we can make the company easier to shop online, easier to get the materials and the information you need, and a clear path to get started in the sport. But then also for our people who have been around for a long time to continuing to get access to the products and services that they need. And I just did that by making the website more intuitive, making it easier to use, and just spreading out over social media to get more awareness for the company.
Absolutely. And, it's funny that you say that because you guys really have grown, and you can see how, the transformation into this digital website online presence huge, which is sort of what your niche is. So Stillwater online, loyal customers at reasonable prices, which is really cool. So that's why I feel like you've hit the nail on the head here, and basically exploring that a bit more. So basically, you guys took in ideas, you got the Stillwater thing going on. Where, walk me through, Justin, when you were building this and whatnot, some of the challenges you guys encountered, some of the key goals and focuses that you wanted to maintain for your customers going forward, and some of the ideas that you guys had to create a memorable user experience.
Yeah, well, the challenges have been never ending. There's always different kinds of challenges that we run into, but in terms of ideas and stuff that we've had moving forward, really like my dad has always been about getting these unique materials and having unique things for people to try new patterns and new ideas, and I've really just tried to play out on that, expanding into more unique stuff and giving people different opportunities to try maybe different colors of beads and different types of materials and those kinds of things. And along that entire way, the struggles that we've had expanding, running out of stock, it's just we've been trying to keep up with the demand, and we're super blessed that we've got such amazing support from the community ever since we took a more active role in trying to market the company. But I apologize to everybody that when we are sold out of stuff, that's probably been our biggest challenge, is trying to keep things in stock and keep the boat moving forward without constantly selling out. It's been a real challenge for us.
Absolutely. Dave, when Justin says unique, and I mean, you don't have to name your suppliers, but what are some of the products that, he mentioned you go out and you source unique items? What are some of those items that are unique that make you guys who you are based on that?
Well, we've come up with our own line of it's called Chronic Skin. It's a type of flashaboo material.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with it.
That we've sourced out in that, and we've also have our own stretch flex that we've come out with. Little different colors to what the norm in the industry is.
And for those that don't know, what's the purpose of those two products? What are they primarily used for tying?
For body material, and also for ribbing. Say, for instance, for doing chronomids and that.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can also this year I've been sampling, or last fall I was sampling with some of the materials for salmon and steelhead fishing.
Nice. Is that a direction that you think you guys might be headed?
Yes, we're trying to expand in on that because the main focus over the past 19 years or 18 years, has been basically for the trout industry,
mm-hmm.
trout fishing, and I've kind of grown up doing a little bit of all fishing, in British Columbia.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So we're trying to expand on that and get more involved with the salmon and steelhead industry, and the growth of like pike fishing and walleye and that in eastern United States and in eastern Canada.
Mm-hmm. Huge markets right now too, especially the pike and muskie. Like those markets are exploding in the States.
Yeah, unfortunately, you look at, say, the bass fishing industry down in the United States. Um, it's a huge, huge market. I would really like to see if we can start running more of those fishing programs in Canada and that in the United States in the trout fishing industry.
Hmm. And what do you mean by programs when you talk about that?
Well, they have just you look at all the bass fishing, the bass fishing shows and things like that. Um, I think they would be very helpful if we had more of those opportunities here in Canada for and the United States for the trout fishing industry.
I completely agree. So what you're basically saying is providing more education to trout anglers. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
I mean, that is like definitely the way to go. And what are some of the ways that Togens Fly Shop would do that if you guys were to stumble down that road?
For the education side of things?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, it's definitely important to highlight.
Yeah, well, we actually have a project underway right now that we're really excited to announce in about a month here. I mentioned to you off air that we're waiting to announce that, but that is in the education space, which would be really exciting, and that should be coming out soon. I don't know if that might be out before this podcast is even released. But aside from that, really on the tying side of things right now is what we're focusing on the immediate future for education. So we do have our Learn to Tie and How to Tie Flies section where, every week we're putting out new tutorials on how to tie new patterns with different materials and such that we produce. And we've put out some blog posts on general trout knowledge, but we really do want to come up with more deeper education in the trout space. The one thing for me is that I refuse to charge for the education. So I don't want to come up with like a full-blown course or anything.
Good for you guys, yeah.
I want to find a way to put this education out there so it's free and accessible to everybody. And we don't need to sell courses or anything to share that knowledge.
I completely agree with that. I mean, I think that's fair and safe to say that, that's the way to go. Education should be free and it grows our sport. And that's our mandate here on the Fly Fishing Insider podcast is to grow the sport, right? And to grow it properly. And education could, is one of the fastest ways of teaching people because people are shy. And when I look at it myself, I'm not the best tire, and I go on record and say that, but I support a hell of a lot of custom tires, and those guys are out there and they know who they are because I'm always placing weekly fly orders. But what are some of the tutorials and how are you guys educating tires and getting people into the hobby or sport of fly tying?
Yeah, so right now what we're doing is just a lot through our blog. We partnered up with a few of our pro team members to try and get some variety of different tying videos. So right now that's all it is currently is on YouTube and our blog for the different tutorials that we have. And we always suggest that, like if you have any or anything you want to see specifically, send it in and we'll see if we can create it. But this new project that I mentioned to you that is upcoming, that'll be more in depth where people can actually learn to tie flies in a bit more of advanced level. Mm-hmm. I know I'm kind of just teasing it, but that will come up soon enough and we'll be able to announce that.
Well, we can't wait till you do. And I always got to take a little jab just to see if you leak it on the show. Cause we love that sort of stuff. So for sure. You mentioned that you have pro tires and whatnot. Like talk about your tires, talk about the diversity of each tire. Cause I'm sure each tire is completely different to add that diversity to your brand. And talk about how if one wanted to get involved with you guys or reach out if there is an opening or a possible opening to become a tire for Togens.
Yeah, our team is amazing. I mean, I rely on those guys and girls a lot for all their help. And before we release products, I mean, they're getting them sent to test them out. So I can't thank our team enough. But across our variety of tires, I tried to mix it up so that we have people from kind of all different sides of it. We have Taylor Culver on the team. He's locally here in Kamloops, head of the Kamloops Fly Fishing Club. He also competes in fly fishing. And he's really out there on the water with our stuff all the time. So then we have people like Kat down in Colorado, who's just all around. She's amazing. She loves fishing, tying, and she's just a positive spirit on the team. And everybody in between. We have Tyler, who's a local tyer in Maple Ridge here. He's really awesome part of the team. And Chris. Chris is the one really heading up our tying tutorials. So he does a lot of the videos and the instructions and your suggestions on what people want to see. He's the one making that stuff. And we've got really positive feedback on the stuff he's putting out. Chris is really the one that came forward with the idea for educating the space. And we thank him a lot for that as well. We also don't want to leave anyone out. We have Rune, Hayden, Des, and Chuck Loftus on the team as well, who help us out a ton. You guys might have seen some of Rune's posts. He's creating like art with flags some of the time on Instagram there.
Absolutely. And I know many of them, and they're all fantastic tires. When Dave mentioned that he was getting into the salmon space, now are you guys going to be looking for salmon tires?
Yeah, I haven't, recently in the summer here, we've been spending, catching up with COVID, but also spending some time with the family. But we will be needing some people to test our salmon products and the new salmon stuff that's coming out. So if anybody is interested in joining the team, you can just send me an email, support@Togens Fly Shop, or send me a message on Instagram. And I usually just like to chat with the guys, find out about them. And we don't really have a formal process. If it fits and we feel like we align well, then we can work something out.
I love it. I love how it's like we don't have a formal process. Just, if the vibe's there or not, right? That's just how she goes. So definitely cool, Justin. Definitely. Speaking of vibes and where it's going, how, we talked about COVID, or you just mentioned COVID, like a lot of shops that I saw from like COVID must have done well for like a lot of guys are, unfortunately were hurt and impacted, but I know in the tying space you did well. And I'm assuming that you guys did well in that time. And tell us about that time. Tell us what you guys did, if you ran out of stuff, how that affected your business positively or negatively.
Yeah, well, when we first heard COVID strike, we, or I don't know if strike's the right word, but when we first heard it came out, we were really worried that it was going to affect all of our plans this year. We'd already committed to a lot of growth on new inventory, and we wanted to make sure that it was going to be okay. But very fortunately, like you just mentioned there, when April came along, it just kind of took off. I guess everybody was at home and the word was spreading and got super busy. But yeah, we did sell out of stock right away, and it was a huge delay to get stock in. That's earlier why I apologize for that. For like 2 months, we really struggled to get stuff back in just because all the borders were closed down and shipping delays. But thankfully, our entire family is safe and everybody's healthy. So we weren't affected in that sense. Everything was positive out of it. But we still hope that everything gets better. There's still a lot of people who are affected by this.
Yeah, absolutely. Justin, when we look at what's next, when we look at what's going forward for the business and where you guys want to take it, can you give us some insight besides the educational aspect of where you want to go? And possibly any expansions?
Yeah. So our goal is to serve the community with the best, like I mentioned earlier, it's kind of repeating it, but the best products at the best price, because the way we're thinking about doing that for future expansion is not only carrying the big brands and expanding our material selection, but my dad, Dave, has really been working on getting our own Togens line of materials. So like you mentioned, we have the Ultra Stretch and the Crawny Skin right now, but future growth is going to be expanding a full line of Togens materials, and we hope to get into all the different kind of materials out there and wires and such. And it'll take some time to build the brand behind that, but we think we have a strong base of customers that trust us, that will take a chance on our stuff. And hopefully we can build the reputation, and we realize that we'll be able to bring these materials that a lot of people are familiar with at a much lower cost. And I think in the long run, that will be better for the community, better for everybody to get into the sport, and save some money to spend on your rod and your reel and stuff.
When you say you want to get fully expansion and whatnot, so we're talking about an online fly shop, or we're going to talk about bricks and mortar. Like, where would you guys want to see this ultimately in a 5-year goal? Where would you want to see it end up?
Well, we're always going to stay online. Ultimately, we do hope to have a physical location someday. We are expanding actually currently in August. We're going to be moving to a bigger location and a new warehouse, which is where we're going to start setting up more of the education stuff that we talked about. Mm-hmm. But then we were planning on doing brick and mortar, but with COVID, it's just not the best timing. So we are hoping to expand to brick and mortar at some point because we want to be able to have the customers to come in and that interaction in the fly shop. You just can't replace that with online completely.
Yeah, you need that. The face-to-face for sure. When we talk about your business, one of the coolest things about your business is I found you guys online, and I know you have a huge online presence, and I know we're doing this giveaway together, the Ultimate Stillwater Package giveaway with Real West Coast and Fly Fishing Insider Podcast and you guys and Corbett Lake Lodge and many other brands. What are some of the other ways that you're marketing? I know it's always a challenge for a newer business like yourselves here. I mean, you got 18 years behind you, but, still like a really niche business, I'm going to say. What are some of the ways that you guys are marketing this business? And some of the ways going forward that you want to market this business? Is there perhaps, besides the educational aspect stuff, is there other ideas or other ways that you guys are finding growth?
In terms of the growth that we've had so far, it's been a lot of word of mouth. So we've been very fortunate to have
super organic
growth based on word of mouth and customers coming back. We do some, Google advertising and more traditional ads, but I found the most success is when, at least my point of view has always been like, if you make no mistakes on the orders, they go out perfectly, and we can provide the best service, like whether that's some samples or we'd like to do little goodies in the bag. So if someone orders hooks, then we think this bead might go good with it. We'll throw some beads in there for them to try out. And that may not seem like the most advanced marketing, but we found a lot of success with that. Like customers are happy just by the service that we give them, very one-on-one, and taking care of customers one-on-one instead of thinking of how can I get 10,000 new customers this month. Mm-hmm. So far has been working well for us. I can't say it won't change down the road if there's other opportunities or whatever, but right now it's working really well, just focusing on expanding one customer at a time.
No, definitely. So, Dave, any follow-up to that?
No. The big thing is customer service. For myself, I like to be involved with talking to the men and women at the local lakes and rivers, and trying to get their feedback on our products and ways that we can improve and expand things. And I think the key to us is the fact that we're willing to listen and try to learn along with our customers.
I like that. I like that you're willing to listen. I mean, but it's willing to listen to the right feedback for sure. Because everyone has an opinion about things. So I'm sure you have experienced those challenges as well. So
yeah.
That's funny. What's a general consensus about the feedback about Togens? And I know, and I already know the answer because you guys are such a niche, and you got awesome community, awesome support behind you. But for those that don't know, what is the feedback and general consensus?
Well, it's like you said, you already know. The feedback is two things I noticed. Customers who've never shopped with us before, brand new, are really nervous. We always get emails saying it's too cheap. I don't believe it can be good, right? But then we have our customers who have actually shopped with us, and the feedback from them has been nothing but like raving fans. Like I mentioned, we have people who just keep coming back for 18 years, and it kind of speaks for itself. The feedback's been nothing but positive, and people are really happy with what we're doing, and I'm happy to keep on working to bring that service to them.
Awesome. Love it. So, are you guys got any trips planned coming up, or any fly fishing coming up that we should be aware of?
I'm actually heading back up to Tonquah on Friday morning. I was up there for just 10 days, and it was beautiful up there, but we also had some hailstorms, and but the bomber chronomins are just starting to come in, and that's what Tunquil Lake is known for, is the big bomber chronomins.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was just going to ask you, Dave, because a lot of my audience and a lot of the listeners are based from outside of Canada. And, Tunquil Lake, for those that don't know, is a famous Stillwater lake within the Kamloops region. And correct me if I'm wrong at any point here, Dave, but like you mentioned, the bomber hatches that come off are phenomenal. The fish are phenomenal, super, super healthy fish. What else can you say about the lake? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, right now it's 35 degrees up there, and the guys are shorts and t-shirts, and they're still catching fish, but it's on the bottom, and sometimes you got to work for it, but it's quite common to right now to be getting 4, 5, 6 pound rainbow trout up there.
Absolutely, definitely. Are you doing your old long line up for that, or how are you pulling up your 6 pounders?
Well, I haven't got any 6 pounders myself, but one is I have one under an indicator, and I have the other one just dangling with a type 6 line off the side.
Yeah, both effective methods for sure. So, Justin, any trips for you?
No, I was up at Tunquil a couple weeks ago with my dad there.
Yeah.
It was super windy. There wasn't a lot of fishing going on. But no, it's been a lot of work this year. A lot of work, not as much play.
That's what happens when you're a small business owner within the fly fishing industry. That's why I asked that question, just to point it out. So
yeah, I do the playing while Sherry and Justin do the working.
You guys do. Dave does the R&D and Justin does the marketing. So it's a good. You know what? I don't know who got the better end of the deal here, Dave.
I think he did.
Oh yeah, I think he did too. So that's funny. So, any words of advice for someone that's listening to you guys and they want to get into it? They're like, they don't know where to start for tying. They just they're just curious about it. Like, what would your advice be to that person?
Well, I think the big thing is starting out is because there's so much materials out there, don't get overwhelmed. Start off small and expand your materials from that. Because, people go and they'll spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on materials and they might use $50 of it.
Wow.
So, with our tying tutorials, and working with with our pro staff, what we want to try to do is just try to make it simple for people. And people get intimidated by fly fishing, but it doesn't have to be that hard, and it doesn't have to be that complicated for someone. It doesn't matter what age you can get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Justin, any follow up?
Yeah, I would say just that. Just start small, and really, there's so much great resources on YouTube these days. If you're really just looking for some tips to get started, and then just do your research. Find out what's really important to you. In maybe fly tying isn't what you want to do. Maybe you just want to go fishing, right? Find out what's fun for you and what you want to do, and then just go down that path. You don't need to, be a purist who only ties, deer hair or something like that, or just do you, basically. As long as you're having fun with it, you're getting out on the water. That's all that matters. I
couldn't agree more with that. With both your comments, for sure, for follow up.
Greg.
Yeah.
We get a lot of people phoning Sherry at the office and just asking questions like that, and she's always willing to help. And if she doesn't have the answer, she takes the information down and she'll talk to the pro staff and find the answer for that particular question.
And Dave, I'm glad you highlighted that, because when we talk about your customer service, and this is when I said I already know the answer when I asked that question, what makes you guys different and better, and where you're going and what your focuses are. This is exactly that that satisfaction that I'm trying to point out on air, which is really hard to get across. I mean, really, a user has to experience for themselves a Togen experience. And that's great that you pointed that out, that Sherry will go above and beyond to do that and find out an answer for somebody. And it's great that you know, as a purveyor of selling materials, sit there and say, hey, you know what, you might not need $500 worth of materials, you might need 50. And it's just really cool how you guys are, you know, down like authentic in pointing that out. And that's what sets the, you know, the difference. And that's why, you know, we love to support your online fly shop for sure. Definitely. So, with that being said, guys, you know what, we're going to cut it short here. So if someone wanted to reach out to you guys, find out where you're at, order products, where can they do that? Follow you on Instagram. Where can they find you guys?
It's togensflyshop.com. You can find us on Facebook. It's Togens Fly. Instagram, Togens Fly. Pretty much if you Google any version of spelling of Togens, we should come up. And then like Dave mentioned there, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. Sherry is available by the phone all the time, it seems like. She does mention though, she'll give you a call back.
If not, you can always find Dave at Tonquil Lake. I'm definitely gonna.
You know, Greg.
Yeah, buddy.
One last thing is, someone phones in and asks about tying kits.
Yeah.
We do custom tying kits for any budget.
Tell us about the tying kits. Yeah.
So, you know, someone will phone in and say, you know, I have, you know, $150 to spend on some tying materials and some tools. We'll put a kit together for them based on their budget.
Awesome.
And also not just budget, but also what fish species they're going after, and also the location of where they are, because you know, what we might use in British Columbia could become something completely different to what someone's going to use back in Ontario or you know, down in Colorado. So it's everywhere's a little different, and we try to build our kits based on where they're located.
Yeah, I totally agree. The importance of fly specific regions is definitely cool. Again, you know what I mean? More reason to reach out to Togens. So definitely. You know what, Dave, Justin, been a pleasure. I'm going to make sure I put everything within the show notes. You know what, Dave, Justin, I'm going to make sure I put everything within the show notes for the listeners. I definitely want to thank you guys for being a guest today on the Fly Fishing Insider podcast. So thanks, guys. Thanks, listeners.
Thanks for having
us.
No worries. You've been listening to the Fly Fishing Insider podcast. If you like this podcast episode, please let us know. Leave a review and subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast listening platform.